Welcome back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to create an Android plugin for Firebase cloud messaging or push notification for your Godot game engine. So this is specifically for Android. Now let's get started. So first of all, what you will have to do is you will have to create a Firebase project. Okay, I have already created a dummy project. Next you will have to add your Godot Android app, Godot game engine to. So this is specifically for Android, right? So first you will have to treat your Godot game for Android as an Android app. So just click. So what you'll have to do, just click on add app over here. Okay, select Android, and here you will have to enter your package name. Here you will have to enter some nickname. Okay, for now I will just enter something. I will tell you where exactly you can find the package name for your Godot game as well. So I don't know, I will just enter something for now. Okay, and here something right now. Just click on register app. Okay, and next you will have to download this config file. Just download this google services.json file. We will indirectly use it. Okay, and click on next and ignore all these steps for now. I will show you where exactly, like if you want you can keep this screenshot handy, but I will tell you where exactly you have to copy paste this code. Click on next and then click on finish. Okay, I have already added an Android app, so I'm not adding an Android app again. But yeah, let's get started. So first, to create a plugin, you will have to create an Android project. So open Android Studio. You can create an empty views project or a Jetpack Compose project, depends on you. Once you create a project, so I have created this documentation handy as well, and also I will also show you how to send push notification from a server. Okay, so I have created this Node.js server as well, so I will show you how to send to a specific device, as well as if you want to send to all device, we will make use of Firebase console as well. So firstly, sorry, I forgot to show you the output, so I will show you the output first. So here is my running device. So as you can see on the output, like I have this label where I am just printing out the console inside my label text, and I have one button. So as soon as the plugin is loaded, I am getting the token from our native Android plugin, sending it to Godot side, and I am also making a post request to my Node.js server, because we need to keep that particular token for that device in our database. So I have not created a database, I have just created an array, a JavaScript array in my Node.js server, and I am once you make a post request, it is storing that token in an array. Okay, so here is an array. So this token is already saved, and if you want to get the token again, just click on get token. It will fetch that token again. Now I have created another endpoint. So post endpoint I have created on my Node.js server for sending token from the Godot side to my Node.js side, and I have also created a get endpoint, which what it will do, whatever token are present inside that JavaScript Node.js array, it will send push notification to that. So I will just hit this API endpoint, which is localhost :3000. Now before I hit the API endpoint for my Node.js server, here you can see there are, so I'll just dismiss this notification for now. Currently I don't have any notification, and the app is in the foreground as well. Like if the app is in the foreground, you have to make use of local notification if there is any push notification from your server side. We'll get back to that later on. But if you see over here, if I try to hit my API endpoint of localhost :3000, here you see that I have received my notification. If I try to dismiss it, and if I go over here, like what I'll do is I'll just dismiss my app completely. If I try to hit the API endpoint again, you can see that I have still received my notification. There is another way as well, from which you can receive the notification, which I will show you at the very end, like using Firebase console if you don't want to maintain a Node.js server. But yeah, let's get started. So first of all, you will have to create a Firebase project, an Android project, and here it can be an empty views project or a Jetpack Compose project. Next you will have to add this next you will have to create an like a module. So just right click on your project, new, module, and here you can select Android library. You can give it some name. I have given it as my library, and give some package name as well of your choice, and click finish. I have already done that, so I won't do it again. Next, here you will have to create this file called Godot Android plugin, which I have just copied from documentation, and give it some name of my plugin. Now this name is very important, so whatever name you give, do remember it, because we will be referencing this name in a few other places as well. Next, here so I will just tell you what we are doing over here. So first, from Android T and above, we have to request a notification permission as well. So firstly, I have created a request code for that. I'm as you can see over here, I am requesting the notification permission, and if it is Android below Android T, then I'm just getting the token. And here on main request permission, on main request permission result, so if the user has accepted the permission for the very first time, the callback comes over here, and if the permission has been granted, then I am calling get token. If not, then I am just saying permission denied. And before below Android T, you will never get a callback over here, because we don't request the permission. And here on Godot setup completed. So this is the code for setting up local notification, because when the app is in the foreground, and if you receive a push notification from your server, the OS won't display push notification. You will have to handle it via local notification. So for that, this is the setup. And here you can see I am calling the request permission method, which we have defined at the very top, as soon as our Godot setup is completed. And here you can see I have created one signal as well, which will help us to send the token from Android plugin to Godot side. And here I have created a method called get FCM token, which is called on the button click. So if you want the token again, we are again calling request permission, and if there is no permission, or if the permission is already granted, then we are just getting back the token. And if you see the get token method, so first of all, I am checking whether this code is used to check whether the Firebase app is initialized or not. If it is not initialized, then we are initializing the app. And if you remember, I have told you to download this Google services.json file from Firebase. So we won't be like for native Android development, typically what we do is that we just copy paste this inside our Android directory. But given that Godot, like creating an Android plugin, does not behave the same way, right? So you can't really copy paste it. So some of you might be thinking that when we create a Godot project and install the Android build template, I can copy paste this Google services.json file inside the build directory, but I have tried that and it doesn't work. Okay, maybe I was doing some mistake, but I couldn't figure it out. From this file you will have to copy this mobile app ID as well as this API key. So just copy paste this and put it over here. So this is your app ID and this is over your API key. So that's how I'm initializing my Firebase app. That's one. So that's the route which I took. Also we require this project ID, and for project ID you can just go to your Firebase console, go to settings, go to generals, and this is your project ID. So that also paste it over here. Next you will have to initialize your app using Firebase app, and once the Firebase app is initialized, then only we can get the token. Now if you want to so this is how you fetch the token again and again. Okay, now the very important step is we have to create this service, this Firebase messaging service, and ignore this for all these things for now. So there are two methods when you try to implement Firebase messaging service. One is called on new token, and second is on message received. This on message received is called once your app is in the foreground and you receive a push notification. Remember, we have to handle it via local notification. So that's what I have done it over here. And this on new token is called every time when a new token is generated. It is not called whenever you open the app. Okay, so this is called only when a new token is generated. And once you get a new token, what I'm doing is I'm sending that token back to the back to my Node.js server. So that's also important. So you might be thinking, okay, I'm anyways getting a token over here. I will just given that most of you might be Godot developer, I will just send this token back to my Godot side, and from my Godot side I will make an API call. You can do that, but that would be unnecessary API call, because if you try to use this method, you will get a token every time, even if that is the same token. But with this method, which is called automatically, this method is only called once a new token has been generated, and who knows what time it takes for a new token to be generated. Like, a new token is generated when the app is freshly installed, but the token might be generated, second token might be generated, or a new token might be generated after few days or few hours. No one can really predict it. So I think it's better approach to just do an API call over here itself. Okay, sorry, before that I forgot to tell you guys another thing. Go to your build.gradle.kts of module my library, and here you will have to add this. Firstly, you will have to add this for Godot. Okay, next you will have to add this for Firebase dependency. If you remember, while adding our Android project, Firebase told us to add some steps, so you have to add these steps. Like, if you have little bit of knowledge of Android development, you might be thinking that why I am adding this, because we are using bill like BOM package or bill of materials package. So if you are using this bill of material, you don't need to add this like this version for messaging.ktx. You can simply keep it like this. But the problem occurs when you are trying to make this I will show you where exactly it is. The problem occurs if you don't specify this version over here in this exports plugin.gd. I'll come back to that later on, but that's why, just to be consistent, I have kept this I have added this number as well. And if you want to like, you can't add any number over it. So this 32.7.1 corresponds to 23.4.0, and if you want to know whatever is the latest, if you are watching in future, obviously the version might have changed. So for that, you can just go to this documentation over here to get what version corresponds to what. So here you can see 32.7.1 corresponds to if you see in-app messaging 20. Was it in-app? No, it wasn't in-app. It was cloud messaging, right? 23.4.0, I guess. Yeah, and I am using this Kotlin extension for helper methods. Now I have also added two more dependency for retrofit. So if you don't know, retrofit is used for making HTTP or network calls to your server. So as you know, once the on new token method is called, we will be sending that token. So I have used this approach. If you want to send it to the Godot side, which again I don't think is the right approach, you can do that. So here, as you can see, I am using this, and this is for JSON conversion or parsing. And I have also added Kotlin coroutines package. I hope in Godot 4.3 we don't need to add this, but at least in Godot 4.2 I had to add this. So coming back to our code, also inside a draw, so you will also have to create this res folder. Inside that, create a drawable folder, and here you can add your app icon. So I have just added some svg icon. This is used because of for local notification display as well, if your app is in foreground and if you receive push notification. So for that, you just add your app icon over here. A png or jpeg image is fine as well. Next, okay, so coming back to our code over here. So firstly, if you I will show you my Node.js server in a bit as well, but it has an post endpoint. So for that, what I have done is, so for retrofit, you have to it has a submit token endpoint, sorry, post, which is a post endpoint. So for retrofit, you will have to add your you have to create a net interface, sorry, and here you have to add the last part of your URL. So my last part of your, so my URL would be localhost:3000/submit token. So just add submit token over here, and this is a token request, which is which takes a token as a string and a token response. So I will show you what token request is. So this is a data class which takes a token as a string, and the response would be I just get a message which is a string as well. Okay, Now if you check my Firebase messaging service, so here we have to create our HTTP client for retrofit. So the time connection timeout is 3 minutes, read timeout is 3 minutes, and here you will have to pass your base URL. So given that I am on localhost, I am using something like this, but if you are already deployed it to AWS or something like that, you can add your own base URL. Don't forget this backslash as well at the end. So your API endpoint, post API endpoint would be this base URL followed by whatever you have defined over here /submit token. Okay, coming back over here, so I have added a converter factory as well as a create of our my network service. You don't really have to understand it, and here I have created a coroutine scope because I want to do it on a background thread. And here you can see on new token, whenever on new token is, so on new token is called automatically by Firebase once our app is launched. We don't have to worry about it. So here you can see I'm calling coroutine scope.launch, and I'm just doing network builder dot register, and I'm passing the token request on whatever token we are getting. And here I'm just logging out the message which I get from Node.js server. That isn't really helpful for us, so I'm just logging it out. Also the error message, I'm logging it out. And here on message received, this is called when your app is in foreground and if you have received any push notification. So here you can see I'm using message dot notification, and if your app is in background, this won't be called, and that push notification would be automatically delivered by Firebase. We don't have to worry about. So this is how you display a local notification, and here you will get the title and body from your push notification. And here you can see I'm using the icon which we had created inside RES drawable. Okay, next if you see over here, inside the over here, so we have to also, so we are done with this. We have to create our Android manifest file, and inside Android manifest we have to add this bit of code. So if you see inside Android manifest, I have added this bit of code. Now also I have added this uses clear traffic because my API is hosted on localhost. So that's why you have, if your API is not hosted on localhost, you can remove this. Also I have added this notification permission. Now this should be your own package name. So if you don't know your what your package name is, you can just go to Godot Android plugin, and this should be your package name. Okay, go to Android manifest again, and this should be your plugin name, whatever you have defined inside Godot Android plugin. And this you have to copy paste it because we are creating a service for our Firebase messaging service class. So yeah, this is copy paste. Just do it copy paste as it is. So this is done as well. Next we have to create this export scripts template file. So just firstly go to this project directory, like project drop down, sorry. Next you will have to go to your library, create a folder called export scripts template. Inside that create a file called export plugin.gd, and I have literally copy pasted everything from the Godot documentation. So this all remains same. If you want, you can pause the video now, and if you can copy paste it from over here as well. But this should be your plugin name. Again, be careful with this. And over here, so you also have to add this extra bit of method which is not present inside the documentation, because we are adding all these libraries inside our build.gradle file. So this is our coroutine library, this is our retrofit library, this is converter JSON retrofit library, this is the Firebase bomb package. And if you remember, I had to add this specific version which I have told you. So Firebase messaging, that's because of this. If you don't add this version over here, then while you try to run your project from Godot, you will get error. That's why we had to add this specific version as well. So yeah, once this file is created, if you want, you can pause the video and copy paste this code. So yeah, that's it for this file. Next we have to create a plugin.cfg file. Again, I have copy pasted it from docs, but this should be your plugin name, and description and author you can write whatever you feel like. So we are done with this as well. Next what you will have to do is you will have to open your terminal, cd to your Android project and not to your library, cd to your Android project, and just run this command. Once you run this command, what you will have to do is go to your Android project, go to my library, go to build, outputs, AAR, and here you should be able to see two .aar files. I have already copy pasted those files to my Godot project. That's why you are not able to see it over here. Once that is done, what you can do is you can just click create your Godot project. So here you can see I have created a Godot project. Next you will have to click at the top project, click on install Android build template. I have already done that. Then click on export, click on add, click Android. So I have already added it. At the bottom you might be seeing something like fix import. Just click on that, and here you will have to select use Gradle build. I have also updated the target SDK to 34 because given that the Firebase library version which I am using, it requires 34 version, and I was getting a lot of warnings. That's why I updated the target SDK to 34. At least currently I am using Godot 4.2.1 and it targets SDK at 33, but maybe in future they will update the target version to 34, so you don't have to do that. Okay, and here you can check all the architectures for which your app would be tested on. So I have this architecture, but if you don't know, just click all the architectures. Also for the package name, this is the package name, the unique name. Here you can change your package name as well, and depending on this package name you will have to add your app to Firebase. Okay, so this is how you will get the package name. Next, so same package name you have to add it on Firebase side as well. Hope that is clear to you. Next, click close. Then you will have to create a folder called add-ons, something like this. Inside that, create a folder with your plugin name. So my plugin name was just my plugin, so be careful with this. Then inside that, create a folder called bin. Inside that, create a folder called debug, and inside bin again create another folder called release. Now you can copy these two AAR files which were generated for your Android library, and go to your Godot project, add-ons, my plugins bin, and you will have to copy the debug AAR file to the debug folder and release AAR file to the release folder, but make sure you change the name. So it should be your plugin name -debug.ar. So my plugin name was just my plugin, so my plugin.debug.ar, sorry. And similarly for release as well, my plugin -release.ar. Once that is done, you will have to copy paste these two files, this export plugin.jd and plugin.cfg, and paste it inside this my plugin folder or whatever your plugin name folder is. So here you can see I have pasted these two. Then you will have to go to project settings, go to plugins, and you will have to check this, make sure this is checked. Okay, next here you can see that I have created a VBox container, and I have just taken a label as well as a button, label to display the token and button to get the token if you want to. And here you can see in my script I have just, again this should be your plugin name, and here you can see I'm initializing my token as well as connecting my signal, and on button pressed I'm just getting the FCM token, and here I'm just displaying the token inside my label. Let's see if I miss anything else. So I have shown you all of this. I have shown this project settings, check mark. Okay, this has been done as well. Okay, next if you haven't set your debug key or SDK path, go to editor settings in Godot, set your debug key as well as SDK path as well. And if you are like me doing debugging on Wi-Fi, so you can also check Wi-Fi for remote debugging as well. That's it. Now there are few other steps also which I have done. So I have also firstly go to your Godot project. Okay, go to Android, go to build, and here I think it is in config.gradle. So here also I have updated my compile SDK as well as target SDK as well as build tools to 34 because of this Firebase version which is targeting 34, but maybe in future it might be already 34 and you won't have to worry about it. Okay, I have also already told you the version, services.json file also I have told you. Okay, I have also told you this. Now we will look at my Node.js server as well. Like if you are curious how to create your own Node.js server, or so typically this Firebase, you have to use Firebase admin, and this Firebase admin currently supports 4 programming languages like Node.js, Golang, Java and Python, but I think there is some community supports for other programming language as well. That's why I'm using Node.js, because that is directly supported by Firebase admin. So I'll quickly show you my Node.js setup as well, and I also want to show you how to send messages from Firebase console as well. To create your Node.js server, first what you have to do is you go to your Firebase project, go to service accounts, and it's loading. Okay, so once you go over here, I have selected Node.js. So once you select a programming language of your choice, you can just click on generate new private key. Once you click on it, it will download a file to your downloads folder. Copy that file inside your Node.js project. So here you can see I have copied that file, and if you see my package.json, I have just added an express.js, which is used for creating REST API endpoints, web framework, and I have also added Firebase admin, which will help us to send push notification. Okay, next, if you see inside my index.js, firstly I am initializing our express as well as Firebase admin. Then we are like creating a reference for our this file which we have downloaded from Firebase. Then we are initializing express as well as the port number is 3000. And for now, just to keep it simple, I am storing all the tokens which I get from my Android app inside an array, but typically you should store it inside a database, and you will map the user ID with this particular token. So you can do that on your own. Here I have just added some boilerplate code for express.js. Here we are initializing our Firebase admin, sorry. This is for CORS handling, and here you can see this is the get endpoint. So if you have a token and if you try to hit localhost :3000, it will send a push notification to your client, to your Android app. So here you can enter title and body according to your choice. And for now, inside token, I am just passing the first token whatever is present inside the array, but here you can write your own logic. And to send the token, you just have to call admin.messaging.send message, and just if the token is sent successfully, I am just sending send token, and here you can see the response has this message. And if you remember, over here I'll just go to this Android drop down. My token response had this message. So that's how I'm generating my this is for this, okay, for this submit token. But yeah, the output for this and this are very similar. So yeah, and if there is any error, I'm just sending a error message. And for submit token, so if you remember, we were using this endpoint inside our Android app in interface. So this is the endpoint, okay. And here you can see I'm just getting a token, so it requires a token, request.body.token, right? So that's why inside the request I have defined a token over here. And if you see the response, it is typically a message. I have not handled this use case in retrofit, but if you want, you can handle that as well. And here you can see, but mostly the success is contains a message, right? So here you can see it, I have defined a message over here. So what I'm doing is that once I get a token, I'm just pushing it to an array, but it should be, in your case, you should be saving it to a database or something like that, and just send a success message to however you want to. And again, this is like boilerplate code for express.js, and this is how we are starting our express.js server. So yeah, that's it for Node.js side as well. So show you how to send Firebase push notification from the Firebase console as well. So for that, you require this token for your particular user. So I have logged it to the console. I'll just copy paste this token. Next, you will so I'll also show you my running device. So here you can see there is no notification as such. So next, you will have to just go to Firebase console. Here you will have to go to engage, click on messaging. I am already inside that. Then click on new campaign, click notification, and here enter something whatever you feel like, hello Godot. And if you want to send it to a specific device, you can just click on send test message. And these are my previous tokens, so I'll just delete it for now. Okay, I'll add my new token. I'll click on plus, I'll click on test, and So here you can see that token has been push notification has been generated properly. Now suppose you want to send it to all the user in one go. Again you can just click on you can do the same thing, like go to engage messaging notification. Okay, and here I will just continue on with this. So here if you want to add in some image or name, click on next, select your app. I'll select my app, click next. Okay, click next, click next, and just click on review, click publish. Now once you click on publish, that notification does take a little bit of time. It is not like it might take up to 1 or 2 minutes, but you can track the status over here. If the status is completed, that means the push notification has been delivered successfully. So here you can see my push notification was delivered successfully. If I refresh it now, the status should be completed. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.